Welcome to Arirang Live. It's after 2 p.m. here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. In just a minute, we're going to cross over to the latest briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the COVID-19 outbreak. Earlier in the morning, South Korea has confirmed 67 new COVID-19 cases on Saturday. That marks the highest daily rise in over 3 weeks. 36 of the new cases are local transmissions, and most of them are from cluster infections in the Seoul metropolitan area, Daejeon and Chungcheongnam-do province. 31 of the new cases were imported, and that's also the highest daily rise since April. With a steady rise in COVID-19 cases in the nation, South Korea's foreign ministry re-extended the special travel advisory to all countries across the globe until July 19. There were no additional deaths, so the death toll remains at 280. And a total of 10,856 people have fully recovered and been sent home. The briefing has just begun, so let's take a listen.
Now let us begin our regular briefing for June 20th. First, here is Deputy Director Kwon Junuk with the briefing. Let us now begin our regular briefing for June 20th, Saturday, on the COVID-19 response here in South Korea. First, we had 36 local infections and 31 imported cases, and a total of 67 new cases have been confirmed to date. Now, the total number of confirmed cases stands at 12,373. 21 more people have been fully recovered, and a total of 1,237 people are in quarantine. We had no additional fatality as of today. Let us now look at the domestic infections. First, in the Gwanak-gu, Seoul, we have the Ridgeway, and related to this case, we have 6 additional cases being confirmed, and a total of 193 have been confirmed to date. At the sport facility in Yangcheon-gu District, Seoul City, we have additional case being confirmed, and we have 70 cases to date. And at the Seongsim Daycare Center in Dobong-gu District, Seoul, we have 2 additional cases, and in total, 42 cases have been confirmed. In Guro-gu District, we also have a business establishment. We also have 4 confirmed cases there, and we are currently conducting the epidemiological investigation. And in Kumcheong-gu District, we also had a milling business establishment, and we had 4 additional cases, and a total of 13 have been confirmed to date. Next, in Gyeonggi-do Province, Uiwang City, at the Lotte Confectionery Logistics Center, we had 10 new cases who were on self-quarantine. And also the confirmed cases had increased there. And in Daejeon, Seogu, we have the door-to-door sales business establishments, and we have 16 additional cases. And right now we have 40 cases being confirmed in relation to that business establishment. And we have today 31 imported cases, and of the 17 people, 3 of them were from America, and 28 were from Asia, excluding China, and these countries include Indonesia and India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and so forth. The KCDC, we are witnessing an increase in the number of imported cases, and this morning we had a pan-government countermeasure meeting, and we are going to intensify our countermeasures to this end. And during the past 2 weeks, we have confirmed that restaurants and other dining centers and small business group meetings and other door-to-door sales business establishments, as well as other various channels, we are seeing increase of the transmissions, and it is also spreading not only in the metropolitan area but also in other provinces and cities, including the Daejeon and so forth. And in Jeollabuk-do Province, Jeonju High School, we also have found that these people were in relation to the restaurant that the high school student visited, and this was also the same place where the confirmed cases of the Daejeon door-to-door business establishment has visited. So we would like to ask for the public to take particular precautions. And looking at the analysis for the Daejeon case during the early this week to right to this present moment, we have learned that many people have had gatherings, and they also went to gatherings that were held in various places, including hair salons and cafes and restaurants. And we see that these were some of the venues of transmissions, and this also spread to Gyeong, Nonsan, and Cheongju, Jeollabuk-do Province, and even to the metropolitan area. So the chains of transmission is also very high, and there is a high risk of further infection going forward. So we ask you to also strictly comply with the life quarantine measures when you visit multi-use facilities. And aside from the metropolitan area, we ask the residents living in the Daejeon and Chungcheong area to also watch your conditions and also visit the screening clinic and get tested as soon as possible if you have possible symptoms. And during the weekend, we ask you to refrain from on-site worship services, as these facilities need to also have high droplet-induced transmissions, including environments like singing together and eating together. So if you have to have an on-site worship service, we ask the facilities to keep 2-meter distance between the participants and reduce the number of participants, and check the participants for fever and other symptoms, and also ensure mask wearing and washing of their hands. And please do not engage in eating together and engaging in other activities that release respiratory droplets in the air. Looking at the ages of the patients so far, those over the 60s also continue to have a high portion, so we ask for the elderly to take precautions. In addition, there are some words to update you on the research. And at the NIH Research Center, we are currently doing our research on the high-risk groups, including those in the chronic illnesses, including the strokes, as well as diabetes and smokers. And we have found that among these patients, they have a common symptom, and if they have a large symptom of or containing such genes, we have confirmed that the COVID-19 could also be also spreading fast among these people. And last but not least, we have words for the public. Recently, we have witnessing a wide range of infections in the metropolitan area, and it is also spreading to other provinces of the country. And right now, we are seeing this expansion, and more clearly, it's spreading to Daejeon and Jeollabuk-do Province, where also cluster and sporadic infections are taking place. We are at a crisis right now. However, through our epidemiological investigation, we are exerting our full efforts to identify possible confirmed cases. And as for imported cases, we have a special entry control system where we have a control of all of the people. Of course, the number itself can be alarming. However, we want to highlight that this is not a very big emergency. As of early April, we also mandate all of the entrants to take 2 weeks of a mandatory quarantine, and we are also identifying the confirmed cases at the airport. However, we have a high increase of the sources that are used to identify these patients, so we are coming up with alternative means. We are seeing chains of transmissions and sporadic outbreaks, and this means that it is happening around the clock. And it is very important for us to balance live quarantine measures as well as our daily routines. However, please remember that COVID-19 can spread at any places that are confined, crowded, and closed contact environments. Right now, looking at the surroundings, we cannot say that nowhere can be safe from COVID-19 completely. During the weekend, in order to protect yourself and your loved ones from COVID-19, it is very important to always remember to take distancing and wear your face mask, and also practice personal hygiene measures when you gather with your family members. And also, us as consumers, we need to induce the changes in the suppliers. In other words, this means that we ask the public to select your gathering venues. So you need to go to places that have QR code entry codes and have strict abiding of the quarantine measures, including the checking of the body temperature, and the places where distancing is allowed, even in indoors, and places where face mask wearing is mandatory, and also highlight the importance of disinfection. So please go to these venues only, and this is the only way for us to effectively curb COVID-19 to spread further in our community. Facing these new changes in our society, we ask the public to continue to participate. We will also exert our full efforts. Thank you very much.
지금부터는 문자로 보내주신 기자님들 질문에 답변 드리는 시간입니다.
There you have it. We'll bring you more details on the briefing at our upcoming 6 p.m. regular newscast. Until then, goodbye.